In this explainer, we're jumping into a really fascinating shift: how the year 2025 is becoming a massive turning point for American cities. We're talking about moving past just dreaming about the future and stepping right into an era where our cities are actively being rebuilt into these incredible, high-tech places to live and work. We've all seen the sci-fi movies, right? Flying cars, crazy tall skyscrapers. But what really makes a city of the future work for the actual people living in it? That's been the big question for urban planners forever. And now, finally, we're starting to see some real, concrete answers. And here's the kicker: this isn't some far off fantasy anymore. All those ideas that tech visionaries and city planners have been kicking around for years, they're actually being built right now, on the ground. And they're changing the very feel of American cities as we speak. Okay, let's dive into the first huge change: what's being called the smart city revolution. We're going to see how data and AI are making our cities not just a little bit better, but radically more efficient in how they run day in and day out. This is all about using tech to solve those classic city headaches that drive us all crazy. In places like Austin, Phoenix, and Miami, these systems are already up and running. I mean, imagine an AI that doesn't just react to a traffic jam, it sees it coming and prevents it from ever happening. Or think about sensors in the road that can tell an accident is about to happen and just gently reroute traffic, all while clearing a perfect open lane for an ambulance. Now, the engine behind all this is the smart grid. Forget the old way of just blasting electricity out in one direction. Think of this more like a smart two-way conversation. The grid is constantly listening to what every part of the city needs, predicting demand, and sending power exactly where it's needed most. And just by doing that, it cuts down on energy waste in a massive way, from huge skyscrapers all the way down to our homes. Okay, so if the city itself is getting smarter, it only makes sense that how we get around it has to change too. And this is totally flipping the script on the daily commute for millions of people. The good old morning commute is getting a serious upgrade. We're seeing major highways with lanes specifically for electric vehicles, which has totally crushed that old range anxiety and helped a ton of people go electric. And in those super congested spots like airports and downtowns, you've got these quiet, self-driving shuttles that handle those little last-mile trips, which ease up traffic and makes our cities just way more pleasant to walk around in. But really, the thing that made this whole electric transition feel, well, easy is that charging stations are just everywhere now. That old nagging feeling of, where am I going to find a charger? It's pretty much gone. They're just a normal part of the landscape. And what's so brilliant about this is how charging has been woven right into daily life. You're not making a special trip to fuel up anymore. You're topping off your battery while you're getting groceries, or while the kids are playing at the park, or when you're at the mall. It's made the whole switch to electric feel completely natural. So, with smarter energy and easier transport, something really cool starts to happen to the neighborhoods themselves. All of a sudden, old, forgotten areas are being completely reimagined and repurposed for the new tech economy. It's a major shift from urban decay to total revitalization. And this slide just does it all, doesn't it? An old, rusted-out steel mill from the 80s, once a symbol of a dead industry, has been completely reborn as this buzzing hub for robotics and startups. We're seeing this story play out all over the country, in Detroit, in Dallas, in Pittsburgh, where the ghosts of the industrial past are becoming the engines of our future. That's a great question, though. If you're going to attract all this new talent, you have to have somewhere for them to live. And that's where another tech revolution is kicking into high gear. Yep, I'm talking about 3D printed homes. You send a design to a giant robot and it just prints the house, laying down this advanced concrete-like material layer by layer. It is wild to watch. Once that main structure is done, crews come in for the finishing touches. This whole process, which is getting huge in states like Texas and Nevada, is making home building way faster and way more affordable. So why is this such a game changer? Well, it's a direct solution to some of the biggest problems in housing. A building process that used to take months, even years, it's now down to a few weeks. The cost is way, way lower. And on top of all that, these homes are often incredibly tough, built to be resistant to things like hurricanes and fires. So the last piece of this puzzle, and it's a huge one, is a real deep commitment to sustainability. Our cities aren't just getting smarter, they're getting greener. They're becoming healthier places where you can, actually breathe. This chart shows you the city's new energy diet. Solar panels are just becoming a standard thing on rooftops, and huge wind farms out in the Midwest are pumping clean energy into the grid. It's not just some abstract idea. This directly leads to cleaner air and a much more stable energy future for everyone. But it's not just about power, it's also about design. Cities are building these green corridors, basically long stretches of parkland that cut right through dense urban areas, replacing hot concrete with cool grass and trees. And the effects are immediate. These parks literally cool the city down, filter pollutants out of the air, and turn harsh concrete jungles into places you actually want to be. You have to wonder, right? This whole transformation didn't just happen by itself. At its core, this is a human story. It's a story of collaboration and a real desire to build something better for all of us. And it really is a team effort. You've got the bold engineers and planners, of course. You've got immigrant innovators bringing in fresh ideas and new skills. And maybe most importantly, you've got the local communities themselves, people who are getting involved in demanding a say in what their own neighborhoods will look like. And really, that's the main takeaway. The future of our cities isn't something that's just happening to us. It's something we're all actively building. 2025 is being seen as that moment when America stopped just hoping for a better future and started taking action to create it. It was no longer a dream, it was a plan. And it makes you wonder, what's the next chapter going to look like?